Reality isn't real. Anyone that hears this podcast, this is the absolute gold today. And what I'm going to be discussing is going back in my life and seeing how this has formed before. And this year, you're going to see this. It's put out in full effect on the internet. And the internet is actually a representation of the fourth dimension. And those that listen to this full podcast, you're gonna understand everything I'm talking about. And when I get to that, when I see whether I see it play out, I have the epiphany, and I say, I can't believe this, which I'm going to be sharing some of the things I said. I can't believe this. If you are a person and you're conscious and aware, because most people are NPCs and asleep at the wheel, which means they're running subconscious programs 95% of the time. You're going to say, wait, I can't believe what I just saw. I can't believe that no, this can't be. So if you have that reaction, that's one of the greatest things. I know some people might say, oh, it's kind of scary. I even remember a time when I went down the rabbit hole. I stumbled across the Mandela effect. And you know your everyday life. And, when you start knowing and critiquing yourself, you have a great memory. You're able to focus your attention. And that is actually why, most of, and it's not going to be a total collapse, but most of society will collapse and struggle. And the reason is because they cannot hold their attention any longer. Do you see this in the world? But reality isn't real. And it's a frequency. And this is shown to us, and I've shared this over the years, it's either you have nothing at all or everything comes at once. Have you ever experienced that in your life? So that's one, I like to give everyday life examples to teach the people on their journey, because a lot of the stuff that I put out there is very deep content here. I'm grateful for you stumbling on. And you might, and especially in recent times, we're going to see more of these glitches because the energies are so high. This is the precipice right before the total collapse of the old society. Don't get too scared. This is the apocalypse. Don't get too scared. It's just a great revealing, kid. It's just a great revealing. Okay? And I have a lot to discuss today. And people that are hearing this, if you watch me on a daily basis, and there's always new people that come in, you know that this is the most pivotal year in the history of humanity, where it's called foundational change. Okay, we are live on the air. I'm just reading the chat, so if you hear me, write 555. Are we frozen? Are we good? And I'm very grateful if you could click the like button. It pushes this message out to the world. So if you are starting to see these glitches, this is what you want to listen to. You start saying to yourself, well, this reality can't be real. Can't be real. And then you have these experiences. You say, I can't believe this. In recent times, having a lot of conversations with people, that it's like divine timing that these things have popped up right now in 2026, a lot from my past. And I shared this in a previous podcast, how I look at my life. And if you're a person that is a conscious creator, manifestation, we all do this. It's part of our life, and what we do here and what we're seeing is the bridge between spirituality and quantum physics, and that's what I'm here to present to the people today, and that's what I do on a daily basis here. And we don't see the, like there are times where you go up another octave and you have a massive change overnight. But there was the roots, there was a lot of stuff that was happening beneath the surface. Now, and most of my journey is consistency. That's what I teach, because that's what is almost basically guaranteed as long as you just keep going, as I share. And I've always focused on, even if it's 1% per better, I have the growth mindset. I talk to my boys that I know. Some of them are watching me now. What's up? Okay. And we have a growth mindset, which means 1% per day. So now I'm looking at my life and where I am, right? If I went back, and this is how this started, and I went back to my previous self 7 years ago, I say, this is my life now. I'm having a conversation with myself. Myself said, I'm on a different timeline. I'm in a totally different reality. And then along with that, I'm saying all the truths, and they're truths because we have consistent evidence over 80% of the time, Pareto's principle, and I'm saying all these things. And then the previous version of myself 7 years ago is going to look at me and might get a little triggered. Gonna say, right? You ever see these people? You tell them the truth, they go, so even myself. We go on a spiritual awakening journey, right? We go on the ascension journey, and we think we know it all. And I could share from authenticity right here. 7 years ago, what? But in today's life, and that's how I teach people how to have the constant growth mindset. To constantly, it's one versus one. It's just you and the previous version of yourself. That's all I stay focused on. I stay in my lane. And I would eviscerate that person right now through all the changes that I've been through. I can't believe this. So I have seen, I know, and there's actually an infinite amount, and that's what the fourth dimension represents. So when you go out on social media right now, and there's all different things. We're gonna have the conversation, in the chat later in this lesson. Everyone's putting something out, and I would say there are two main timelines, or ascending or descending. I like to make it basic, but there's actually an infinite amount, and I could see this in my life. So there were quantum events in my personal life. And at first glance, it looks very scary. But if I didn't have those events, I wouldn't be in the place that I am right now. Sometimes we have to lose in order to gain. We have to gain our freedom. I want everyone to focus on these three words today. The people that are focused on this message, this is the peace, the freedom, and the clarity timeline. Let me say it again. Let me etch it in your subconscious. And this is what you move forward with. This is the peace. This is the freedom and the clarity timeline. And these concepts, this is what's important in life. Not an actual number in the bank, not a certain materialistic thing. It's energies. That's why I teach. So when you get to the frequency, the physical reality changes all around it. And that's why we're seeing so many glitches right now. There's so many frequencies that are being put out. So anyone that's focused on this channel, you could click subscribe, and I appreciate it. And you're going to have this growth mindset. So when you go to these three things, it's the peace. Like on my journey, my peace, and I've learned this, right? So everything has to be my peace. My work has to bring me peace. I got to get charged up. I can't be drained by it. The women that I have in my life, they have to bring me peace. I can't have no crazy modern woman in my life. I got to have peace in my life. My peace has to be my top priority all the time. The friends have to bring me peace. We don't have to try to fit the round peg in the square hole. And I've shared this many times. You might be listening to this. You might have a friend, I have a buddy, and you don't talk to this person. It could be over a year. And it's just like riding a bike. You just pick up, right? You might not see them physically. You text and you call once in a while, and then you come together and you spend a week, all right? You catch up. It's just like riding a bike. It's got to flow. So everything's got to be peace in your life. Freedom. It's got to be freedom. Freedom. Your work. You have to be free to do your work. You have to be free within your own relationships. And you can't have friends in your life that cause chaos either. Clarity. We got to go for the triple C, baby. Crystal clear clarity. Because you, the person that's getting this is what goes into the quantum, because there's a lot of entanglement that's going on. And when you see clearly and you have clarity, then you're making better choices. People have to know this. If you didn't know this, the whole purpose of being alive is to make a free will choice. And that's what actually creates these timelines, free will choices. But, and you might have been, there was, chaos. You couldn't see clearly. And you made a free will choice with the information you had available at the time. Siscan, 1967. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm very grateful for the support. I love you. Thank you for that. So we have to have clarity, and look on social media right now. And I even get a little overwhelmed, but I'm going to teach you what I do. I could see the truth. I could see from a higher vantage point, from the 5D, the fifth dimension. I just said earlier, the internet is a representation of the fourth dimension. Buckle up, Buttercup. This is a big podcast today. Yeah. So you're going to have to start going out there. You see all the possibilities out there on the internet. Do you know about the internet? So in this quantum reality, that's where we are. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on out there. And everything is going for your attention. Heck, it's the currency of the universe. And recently, I did a very powerful, world-famous video, The War for Your Soul. Your soul is everything, kid. That energy, that's your soul. That's all that actually matters in this universe. The most precious resource is your soul. I love you. God bless you, right? Realize this. And those people that are subscribed to this channel, you're listening daily, you understand your worth. And that was something that I'm sure the people that are listening in, you might have been an empath, you had to realize your worth. And that's what last year represented. Last year represented the end of your old life. And it didn't happen overnight. It's constant pruning and deep cleansing. So these things had to go. So what's happening right now when I look at my life, and I've seen things that I say, this, I can't believe this. This ain't real. And where we will go. That's why you always, when it gets very confusing, this is what I teach. It's never going to go away. You got to know thyself. It's always I am. You're gonna go to what I am is. Because it's going to get very confusing out there. We need clarity. Do we have clarity in the world? Absolutely not. Is there clarity? Now, I go out there. I'm seeing what everyone's seeing on Facebook and all. I'm very, active on Facebook. You could hit me up on Facebook, be part of the community there. And I see what you guys post as well. There is not clarity. I told you, you're going to have to. It's not like it's cool, bro. I'm going to open my third eye. I'm going to have a spirit. No, if your pineal gland is calcified, you're done. Now we got to get into being a spiritual warrior right now. Do you understand where we are? So right now, when you start seeing clearly, you raise your frequency. And then from a higher vantage point, you could see everything that's going on. Everything that's going on. So you will go out in the world, and when you look at the internet is really a physical manifestation of the fourth dimension, where possible outcomes, and there's actually an infinite amount of them, but it goes to two main timeline branches. It's the positive and the negative. Now I see people, and I'm able to view the post with clarity from an ascended viewpoint, which means when you hear these terms, ascend to the fifth dimension, it's a higher frequency, a level of it. And so now you take yourself out of it, because we do feel with the ego. We get a lot of scary scares. It's a little scary, fraidy, scary stuff that's out there right now. And I said, I'm a lead as the good shepherd. I could get the clickbait and all this other stuff, right? And we talked about this. I know there's new people. You watched the previous videos. A little fraidy out there, right? So from a higher vantage point, I could see upon the internet. I could see all the posts. And this is where it's going to get very deep. And that's why you have to know the intertwinings. Reality is not real. Real in the sense where it's physical. Have you ever seen a person shut off before? Seen sampaku in the eyes? What happened to that? What's going on with that? You ever see that? So for me, that's the number one thing that is kind of disturbing. But this is a quantum reality. People are going where they go, right? So, and if you're tuned in, you say, I'm kind of picking up what this guy's putting out here. So we're focusing on quantum physics. And what we realize is reality is not separate. Now, you, the person with a soul, you have a conscious experience. You are a physical representation, a unique representation of God, the creator. You're a creator. You're a creator. Not a bot. You're a creator. This is an interconnected system where every part can instantly influence every other part regardless of the physical distance. Let me say it again. Let understand this. This is why the frequencies that we put out, this is why it's going chaos right now in the world. Is it going chaos in the world? So I'm here, gather around light warriors. Your Uncle Mike's teaching today. So this is why you actually have to understand quantum physics. We are an interconnected system. Every part can instantly influence every other part regardless of physical distance. So when people are paying attention to the negative stuff, the negative timeline, so pull out the social media, and I could see posts and things and possibilities that might or might not exist, and I could categorize them. I could take them and I could put them. I could say, okay, these posts go to this negative timeline over here, right? And these posts go to this beautiful timeline over here, and they're so close, and it could go either way. What I'm speaking right now, do you feel like this can go either way? So your perception, and that's why the collective, if you're a person that's on this podcast, you're listening, right? Remember that we're an interconnected system. Every part can instantly influence every other part. Doesn't matter the distance. So if you say to yourself, how could I be the positive change? All you got to do is be that positive change. All you have to do is disconnect from that negativity. And we are putting out that, and if you don't do you could share my post, and I appreciate it. We already got the full armor of God here. Negativity just goes right off you, like you're like Teflon. Okay, so you got to stay focused on the positivity. And I see this now. Is it nefarious? Is it just the regular human ego? This is how we're wired, and I could critique from myself. When I see, and this is just the survival, our nervous system. I teach about the nervous system. So when you go on the internet and you see the negative posts of the negative timeline, you are actually ready to brace for that. It's the survival. It's from our human. Again, we're not like living like in the past, right? So years ago when you had your nervous system was keeping you safe from, certain things that might eat you or things that go bump in the night. Now it's why, but it still has that innate wiring, because we have to. Your goal is to actually stay alive, so that's why it goes first. Do you understand that? Right? Do you get that concept? So innately, your nervous system, you have to stay alive first. So the energy has to go to that first. So we want to raise up that energy. This is what ascension also is, pull that energy up, get out of the root, bring it up. And you want to get it up to here. You want to get it up to the crown. Is the royal family here? What's up? You want to get the energy up to the crown. And this is actually your connection to God's source. Or you could get pulled down. And this is also represented in the states of consciousness. And I've seen a lot of stuff, and I could say I can't believe this. But every time I said I can't believe this, it was actually enlightening for me. First glance, it gets scary. It doesn't make, because we're leaving one, rational physical aspect of the mind, and then we're shifting to the quantum physics mind. And then I start saying, wait a second. So that means, wait a second here. Hold on. Hold up. Okay. So you got to hold up, and you got to say, wait a second. Oh, what am I paying attention to? In a recent video, I broke down, so one of the most important things at this time when you go through the confusion of the internet is your reticular activating system. I suggest you watch that video, okay? Click subscribe, go to the channel page, check out the videos from this week. Timelines are real. Know the difference between a shift and a collapse into one, there are certain events in your life, right? So that means that timeline, that energy cord, some people that are in the spiritual community know about energy cords. So for your highest purpose, once you have, and that's why you have to be a conscious observer, not unconscious observer, conscious observer. And once you observe it, that cord that is actually holding you back to that lower timeline for your highest purpose, that cord has to be severed so that you can keep rising up. Okay? And every time that I've said it myself, I can't believe this. But in the future, I say, thank God I saw that crazy stuff. Thank God. Because it allowed me to do something very powerful. It's called let go. And we must let go. And there are people, this is actually depicted in the Matrix. And Morpheus said there's people that will actually protect the system. Some people know the term Stockholm Syndrome. But sometimes in our life, we have to break, and it's rooted in the subconscious. I'll wait. It's like we're back teaching the class. I'll wait. This reality, when it's rooted in the subconscious, right? It's so strong. It's very strong. So once you have that little taste, I appreciate the beautiful comments, right? Yeah, we're just grabbing a cup of coffee and having a little chat. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everyone getting on. So that energy takes a lot of energy consciously to wipe the subconscious. Consciously, I have to consciously focus because you're not aware of it. It's trying to get you to focus on that negative timeline because that's all you knew your whole life. That's all you knew your whole life. So now your focus, your timeline, you're focusing your attention, and there's a whole world out there, and we all get trapped in it. There's a whole world of new job opportunities for you. There's a whole world out there of ladies waiting for you or fellas waiting for you. The second you get rid of that Stockholm syndrome, the second you say, oh, no, wait a second. This is not vocation. This is not unconditional love. These are subconscious programs, and you got to delete them, and you got to delete them now. And the second you do that, all of a sudden the floodgates start opening up. All of a sudden we are on the peace, the freedom, the clarity timeline. So when it gets really confusing, that's why you got to get to the frequency. So your Uncle Mike is here live, and anyone that hears this at any time, what are we focused on? We are focused on peace, we're focused on freedom, and we're focused on clarity. And when you get to those things first, everything is going to follow that. Well, why does everything follow that? Oh, I'll tell you, Light Warriors, because your nervous system, when you're peaceful, your nervous system is calm, then you attract. When you're free and you don't feel like you're trapped, your nervous system is calm, and then you attract. When it's crystal clear clarity, and it's not confusing. And that's one of the things that I struggle with. And more divine masculine will feel more struggle with this. Feminine is more flowy. But when you know the answer, you go. And you go directly with power. Not confusion. McJura, 3335. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm very grateful. Celebrating the entanglement. Love you. My soul talks finally. I love that. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate everyone getting on. Very grateful for the super chat, the love. Appreciate everyone clicking the like, all that stuff. I'm very grateful. We need to focus on where we're headed, what our frequency. These things are frequencies. That's why people absolutely fade off your timeline. You might have a situation, and this situation was lurking there. Could be a negative situation, right? Whatever. All of a sudden, it just goes away. The birds are out here, Brownie. Yeah, the birds are out. So the clarity of making decisions also keeps your nervous system calm, because there's a very deep teaching that I have given. It will never change. It will never change. Right? Anyone want to study this right now? You want to bookmark it? You want to critique it? Want to play it all around the world? Right? I'm gonna teach the truth here. What's up? The reason why intuitively clarity is so important, because intuitively, through our free will, we want to make the best decisions. When you make decisions, right? So in the world, which will be a representation of how God works, like when you make a decision in life, and you're doing it from your heart space, and even though it might be the wrong thing, you didn't know, right? You didn't know that doing that act or whatever, right, was feeding a system that wasn't good for you or our people, or maybe you were actually trying to show unconditional love for a person, but that person was totally fake, maybe a covert narcissist. You didn't know. And you were going forward, right? And you were doing everything that you could, but your energy was just drained. That's why clarity is important. Now, for our intuition and how we actually operate, we want clarity, because always and forever, regret is worse than failure. In your heart, in the feelings that you have. If you tried something, your heart, your soul was driving you to do it, and you failed at it, right? It didn't work out, but at least you tried, and you made a conscious free will choice on it, you're okay with it. But how many people, and you say, oh, shucks, and you have regrets. There are people in the world that live with regrets. And this is shown in studies with people like on their deathbeds, and they give like honest, talks and stuff. When you live with regret, that regret will eat you up on the inside. And intuitively, right? When you go forward in life and you live your life this way, regret is worse than failure. When you're operating out of the heart space, and that's why we strive for that clarity, for that truth. And that's why there are people that are quote unquote truth seekers. Are you a truth seeker? Your eyes open? You're watching? Are you seeking the truth? You're driven as your natural drive. That's your natural drive, seeking the truth. Because when you have the truth, then and only then I can make better free will decisions. That's why, like, the whole concept of free will right now, and these are the laws of the universe, and then we're waking up and we're saying, wait a second, this reality is not even real? Is reality even real? No. So what's an example, an everyday life example that you could give to the class, Uncle Mike, so that everyone could really like sink their I like to give you the good stuff that you could say, okay, this is a real everyday life example that people could say, wow, this reality is not real. How it affects you, your psyche, and it cracks you open to more possibilities. And years ago, I went down the rabbit hole for the Mandela effect. And there was a show that I watched every day as a boy. My mother knew I would sit there and I watch him every day. What a peaceful man he was, Fred Rogers, right? And I watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, yeah. And every day, I know the answer because I watched it every day. And he would say, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And I watched it every day. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. And then later in life, you become an adult. You're not watching it anymore. You haven't watched it in a long time, but you remember it. It's etched in your brain. And then you go across the Mandela effect, and you hear these people saying, yeah, Mr. Rogers says it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. I said, what? I says, nah. And then I go on YouTube. I'll pull up any Mr. Rogers episode and I listen to the opening song. And then I go to a different episode and I listen to I say, well, no, this ain't right. This ain't right. And then you have to come to terms and you know without a shadow of a doubt what it was. And then you're sitting there, ready? You're sitting there and then you say, something about this reality isn't real. It's a frequency. And we tune into these frequencies on a daily basis, in and out of realities. And that's why we can't be overwhelmed. We have to understand free will. And that's why I encourage people that are tuned into this today. When you say, I can't believe this, and maybe your job implodes and you got to leave that job. Maybe the covert person in your life, all of it, say, I can't believe this. Because you were painted an illusionary picture about your job, about your relationship, about whatever it is, about your eating habits. Yeah. Do you know how many people in the upcoming in the past couple months have been waking up to what they've been eating? Do you see this, right? So anything in life, you were going forward with the subconscious program and illusion wasn't real. Reality's not real. And then all of a sudden, you're living your life. And then, you know, you're having you say, I can't understand why this keeps happening. Hold on. I'm not going to talk over you. So, and then all of a sudden, something magically shifts. It gets quiet, too quiet. And then all of a sudden, in whatever the aspect is, right? Like maybe your work or your finances dry up, and then all of a sudden, there's a shift. So these little things that, like, it doesn't kind of make sense. This is showing us that reality isn't real in a physical sense. It's real in a quantum sense. It's real that you are actually taking your consciousness and you are going from timeline to timeline, possibility to possibility. And it is overwhelming. And you will say, I can't believe this, which I have said many times in my life. If you have a bigger mission, I need everyone to focus now, because I know the people that are still tuned in, this is very relevant to you. If you have a bigger mission in life, it is it's what your soul is going for. All those other timeline branches that are not, if your bigger mission cannot be played out, all of a sudden you see all this weird stuff happening. They must fall off the timeline. Those possibilities, because you have to, you can't get to where you are. Where are you headed? Oh, you're headed to destination unknown. It's not easy to do. Nature talks. Nature talks. Right? So all those strange things that are happening right now, you're able, because you're not that puppet that is, and it's not your fault. I'm helping you to break free. Your reticular activating system, your RAS, is wired to the negativity you see on social media. You got to crack out. When I go out there and I say, and I'm looking at it, and I'm saying this is do you know the importance of this year? Anyone? You could throw up 11/11. Hope everyone puts 11/11 on this video today, because this is year one. This can go either way. And the more people that are focused, and again, it's really not your fault. I mean, we will have an experience where if that's the case, and again, it is what it is, that the perception is humanity will get very small, and that's okay. But all I'm here to do is share the quantum physics of it. And the truth of when you look, you have your personal life, your everyday life, and then we also are part of the collective. When you signed up to have a human experience, a lot of people know this term, right? You signed up to have a human experience. We are still part of the collective. Get this? You have to understand this. If you like it, if you don't like it, it is. And over the course of my life, I've seen this. This is why we have the glitches. It's a frequency, all this other shifts. We are an interconnected system where every part can instantly influence every other part, regardless of the physical distance. So you can be in your home. This is something I talk about, ascension symptoms. A lot of people have been feeling a lot of anxiety recently. You could be in your home. You could be out on the beach. You could be up at the mountain. You could be in nature. You're trying, and you're still feeling it. You could raise your hand in the chat if I just nailed exactly what you're experiencing. You don't understand why. You don't understand why you have this anxiety. And there could be something so small that actually triggers it, because the collective of humanity right now, Okay, the chat is blowing up right now. So do you feel this right now? I'm giving you the reason why you're feeling this. Okay? Caroline writes, you can't escape this. No one can escape this. And if you have a question about that, you watch my world famous video. The only way out is through. We are part of the collective. And the other parts, they're all putting out this frequency. That's why the more people that are focused on positivity, I'm going to keep putting up positive empowerment content no matter what. No matter what. And when we are doing this, this is how God gives us tenfold, by not going for the low-hanging fruit. And it's easy to go through these time periods. Like we're in the bottleneck of time, if you will. Everything's very squished right now. It's very squished, compressed, but you are compressed. You are feeling the pressure. This is how we have that diamond. A beautiful diamond is being formed. You're that beautiful diamond. Beautiful. You're so beautiful, right? Every time in my life I said, I can't believe this. We all think we know. And I'm here, I'm going to get very serious right now. And I've seen things and I've shared about being respected. I hope everyone understands you need to be respected at all times. I'm absolutely sick and tired of being taken advantage of because I'm a loving person. I am absolutely sick and tired of it. And I lived through something last year. And now I see the truth of these things. And the chat is blowing up right now. You smash the like button. If you hear my voice, I do very deep podcasts here. I'm sick and tired of being taken advantage of. And I see it all the time, every time. And that's why there's people on this podcast that you have separated yourself from people. You can't be afraid. You can't do it, right? But you're going to go through this process. The chat's absolutely exploding right now. Hit the like button. Share the video. I'm sick and tired of being taken advantage of. You're a person now. You see these people. And so what's an example? You put on the TV. Oh, these people. Oh, send the money. Send the wherever they sending the money to. Keep hitting. I hope 1 million people hear this. So that's what it actually looks like. So in your life, there could be these things that pop up. And this is where the empath awakens. The empath is not a doormat. You're a soul, you're a loving person, you're an empath. And I'm going to take the warriors, and the warriors are going to wake up right now. And the warriors are going to wake up. I'm sick and tired of being taken advantage of. And we don't fall for it no more. And sometimes in life, it's got to get to this place where you will wrestle with God. And I've been saying this over the past year. It's been a while since I did my documentary. You watch my video, To Wrestle with God, a documentary. I guess the sirens are the synchronicities. I think the mic is picking it up. When you are a person and you have done it, no one can mess with you. No one. This is the sirens are going off right now. This is the Holy Spirit fire is going off right now. I'm tired of it. And I can't believe, and you know who I'm angry at? You know who I'm angry at? Me. I say, no, it's true. Anyone that is a true divine masculine, you always go to yourself. I don't care. Listen, it is what it is. I say to myself, I say, I should have known better. I fell for it. I fell for it again. How many people are you want to do and you have woken up? So a lot of people resonated with my podcast that was entitled, Nothing is Sacred Anymore. Nothing is sacred anymore, and you're seeing this in the world. So what has happened is, listen carefully, we're all We're all pulling our attention back away from it and let anyone and anything disintegrate and turn to dust. Let it turn to dust. I said to myself, I can't believe, I've said this multiple times. When I teach, that's why more and more people resonate with this channel. I teach the truth. This is not going to be a perfect journey because we are not living in a time of clarity. If it's clarity, right? But it makes us stronger. I said, what's God doing for us? Well, God is actually allowing us the time to really fine-tune our intuition. Intuition on fleek, son. It's true. So, I lived through it, and then I say, so how do you, so what do you do, Uncle Mike? Oh, I'll tell you. So I said to myself, I went to a concept that I taught, it's over 2 years ago. Don't you want to have fun? I says, yeah, I want to have fun. And I said, when I'm doing all these things, and I said, wait a second. All these things, they're just energetic chords that I said, wait a second. No, I gotta go to the high vibe stuff. I gotta feel good. I gotta have fun. I gotta have fun with friends, with whoever I hang out with, whatever I do. Woo! I make world famous videos. I gotta do the things that resonate in my soul. I made a title today, and that's the main. I'm not concerned. I can't be concerned with the algorithms or whatever. And that's why I'm grateful for the community that keeps sharing and doing that. I got to do the thing. I got to speak what I got to speak about. I can't be caught up in these boxes of limiting beliefs. I got to have fun. I got to do what my soul is resonating with. Go to God's algorithm, which is now it's now destroyed. Bliss ablaze. I talked about God's algorithm. And if you think it's just the interweb, that the algorithm, no, it's actually in life too. I've seen it. So I'm done. How? Because of that brain. Yeah, that brain. Those subconscious programs. And I'm going to sit back up here. I'm going to watch. Nothing matters. No, all I'm responsible for, and this is enlightening. I know there's the empaths of the world that are waking up right now. You're the empaths of the world. It's always I am. You are only responsible for yourself. You can't wake anyone up. Know the truth about unconditional love. If something's for you, it's supposed to come. Just let it all burn. And this is the fire horse year, baby. A lot of people are seeing the fire here. This is the fire horse year. So we are shifting. And when you see I have seen stuff where I have said, I can't believe this. It's absolutely amazing. Fitbrit writes, epic lesson today. I am so grateful for that. Was this an epic lesson? Realize that reality is not real. None of this is real. I mentioned 2 videos. They will pop up here. At the pinned comment. Know that we're in very powerful energies right now. I did a full video explaining the science behind it. People that are new and you really want to change your everyday life. And I get there are spiritual concepts that are out there, but what we do here on this channel is dive a little bit deeper. You can go up one level, but if you want to go up multiple levels, right? You're going to have to know it with deepness, and you're going to have to go to authenticity, not perfect. It's enlightening. You're going to feel, listen to the words. If you are focused on just being authentic, you have so much more powerful that I have to be perfect. I have to have an image. Ooh, I have to have an image. Master the art of not giving a shift, and then you will shift to the fifth dimension. Diana, thank you so much for the super chat. I love you. I'm so grateful. All of us light warriors seeking divine favor and justice are uniting around the world via our intuition. Our hearts are united. I'm so grateful for the support, grateful for the community support. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. I appreciate that. And this way, you'll get a daily update, 9 a.m. Eastern time, to help you become the greatest version of yourself. Hit me up on Facebook. I have content daily on Facebook. We're growing like never before there. We got Patreon, TikTok, Instagram. Utilize the hashtag OurEverydayLives. Sharing is caring. I'm grateful when you guys share this content out to the world. And leave a comment down below if you are feeling what I discussed today. All right. I know it's intense, but it's actually the greatest year of our everyday lives. I love you all. Have a great day. Yep, I'm reading the chat. I love you all. My honor for the inspiration. You're an inspiration to the world for being sober. I'm reading your name there. I love you. I love the community. Let's keep it real. Let's build real life communities. Right? Let's build the real stuff. Be the real. That's the greatest thing I can say. Don't go for the fake. Go for the real. Don't go for the fear. Go for the love. Don't go for the fear. Go for the love. And it's going to help you. Bliss ablaze. We are setting the world ablaze. I love you so much. Thank you so much for that. I love you all. Powerful stuff. Powerful time period. Keep going, kid.